We brought him in for a reason, so let him continue to do what's brought him here. I want him to be himself. I want him to play his game. I don't want him to adapt too much or think, oh, Manchester United can't play a back three because they've never done it before.
McKola, what are your thoughts? Are you happy? Are you excited?
No question about it. I'm ready to get hurt again. I'm there. I seen him rock up to Carrington in a Montclair, and I just thought, this is the guy, I think. But on a serious note, like, I am excited for it, but we've also, like, when Erik ten Hag came in, he was the next big thing. He was this guy that had built this great team at Ajax, and he was going to come and smash it at Manchester United. And then once they get into the Manchester United job, you know, the pressure builds, you know, the media treat them differently. You know, you get all this kind of pressure that's building for them. And it can be difficult for them to remain themselves and stick to their guns. And I think that's what happened with Erik ten Hag. I think he kind of lost his way a little bit. We didn't kind of have any identity. He didn't maintain maybe his philosophy and his ideas. And that's why I hope that when Ruben Amorim comes in, whilst I think he'll adapt and he's young enough to be able to adapt, he's still learning the game and stuff like that. I do want him to be himself. I've seen a lot of people talking about, oh, will he keep his back three? Will he do this? Will he do that? We brought him in for a reason, so let him continue to do what's brought him here.
So would you be disappointed then if United rock up to that game against Ipswich and he hasn't got them in a 3-4-3 for me?
I wouldn't be disappointed because obviously he would have judged the team and based his judgment on that. But at the same time, I want him to be himself. I want him to play his game. I don't want him to adapt too much or think, oh, Manchester United can't play a back three because they've never done it before. It's time to adapt and be yourself. So I want him to do that. But I think you guys mentioned the media and how he handles them. And I think that's massively important. When you're managing a club like Manchester United or Liverpool or whoever, you have to be statesmanlike. You have to almost be like a politician and control the fan base and control the players through the medium of the media. So I'm hoping he can maintain that. And there's a few things, like I like the way he dealt with that annoying journalist trying to make him speak Portuguese and all this. Like, you rock up to Portugal to speak to a Portuguese fellow who's managing a Portuguese team and you want him to speak English. Like, chill out a little bit. And I like how he dealt with that. So I do hope he can stay himself and you know, continue. Go on. What you want to say?
Well, you mentioned the fact that one of the biggest takeaways from that, you know, the digging that you did was to be humble. But I can't think of a successful Premier League manager that you could attach to being humble as a key attribute.
I think you have to. I think humble with your team is different to being, you know, being a little bit brash and being a little bit forward with the press.
As a Man United manager, you almost need a psychopath, not a.
I mean, the psychopaths haven't worked.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? The psychopaths haven't worked.
Yeah.
And I think he looks a little bit more personable.
I like
a little bit more.
I really like it.
He'll lack that edge then? Is that it?
Yeah, that's what I would assume. That it's such a massive job and there's so many eyes.
But because he's personable, it doesn't mean he doesn't have that edge.
He might do.
You know what I mean? It doesn't mean he doesn't have that. I think
he learnt from Mourinho, so he's going to have some sort of edge, isn't he?
Yeah, let's hope he didn't learn too much from Mourinho, though, and starts just calling us all crap and telling us it's all our fault once he arrives.
Yeah, the thing is, like, United have gone through this kind of cycle with these managers where I totally respect what you're saying, and when they said humble, I was like, is that actually a good thing, right? But United go through this cycle where you have a character like Mourinho and things become toxic and it doesn't work, like you're saying, Adam. And then you flip it, you go Solskjaer, everyone's happy, you know, Ollie's at the wheel, win back-to-back games, whatever, because it's a change of approach. I think in the end, what you actually need is somebody who's able to blend the two. And to be honest, I think when people were saying to me he's humble, they were talking about his dealings with, you know, people around him, his fellow coaches. If he's in a situation where he's got to, you know, discipline a squad, he's going to do it. And he needs to do it because ultimately that's the authority of the position.
I think he's also quite young in that he's played football really recently. So he knows the pressures of the modern day game and what players have to deal with. I think some of the managers that we've had are maybe detached from that because they've been in the game so long and they've got their own ways, the Van Gaals, Mourinho's of this world. I feel like he's a little bit more connected to the modern day footballer, which might help him as well. But I'm just guessing these things. Like, I'm waiting for him to wow me, but yeah, I can't wait. He looks the business.
How easy is it going to be for United to go from a back four to a back three?
I mean, I feel like we've kind of prepared for it in the summer because we overloaded with centre-backs. We brought in De Ligt, we brought in Lenny Yoro. Obviously, we got Lisandro Martinez, who I think is ideal for the left centre-back role. I don't rate him, and I think his future lies away from Manchester United, but I think Harry Maguire could suit the back three as well. So I do think we've got the centre-backs that could do that. The one position that I'm unsure of is the wing-back position.
Yeah.
Like, I think Mazraoui could do it. Can Delo do it? Can Luke Shaw be asked to get fit and do it? Like, you know, can those players do it? I'm not too sure. Will we see him try and use Garnacho in that position, drop him deep a little bit? So it'd be interesting to see what wing backs that we bring in. But I do think I'm seeing people go, we need to sign him, we need to sign him. We've got a decent squad here. The last thing I want us to do, whilst we need to make a few signings, the last thing I think we need to do is make wholesale changes. And I think there's so much more to come out of this squad that we've got here, and I'm excited to see what he can do with that. Also, you look at our academy. At the moment, we've got a lot of good young talent coming through the academy at the 18s and 23 level. You know, even at the left-back position where we're missing a lot, you've got the likes of Harry Amas coming through, just signed Chido Obi-Martin. We've got a lot of talent coming through that academy, and he's very good at developing younger players, bringing them through. So I'm hoping obviously, right now it's all about getting results. So maybe you won't see too many young players, but eventually I think we'll start to see some academy players come in, which Man United fans always like. Just
quickly, are you over the fact that Ruud's left? Where do you stand?
It was the right decision.
Was it?
It hurt a little bit. I love Ruud van Nistelrooy, and he'll always be a legend of Manchester United. But the last thing you want him to do, and you want Ruben Amorim to do, is be forced to keep someone in his team that he doesn't want to keep there. Also, Ruud van Nistelrooy has dreams and desires of his own to be a Manchester United manager maybe in the future. If you stick around and you're part of two coaching staffs, let's say Amorim doesn't succeed, and you're part of two coaching staffs that have failed at Manchester United, I don't think there's a way back for you to be a manager of that club. So I think it's the right decision for him to leave, maybe go get a job in the Premier League or elsewhere, and then see how he can deal with that.
What was the plan, though? 'Cause he came in June, wasn't it?
Yeah.
For a manager.
Part of Ten Hag's team, though, isn't it?
So they were hoping that Ruud van Nistelrooy was going to fix it all?
No, he was part of Ten Hag's team.
Just seems a waste of time.
How is it? If Ten Hag was still here, he'd still be here.
Yeah, but he was always on the way out.
The manager's bringing in all of his own staff, do you know what I mean?
No, he should be gone. But you've wasted his time. 6 months.
How? Because he wants to be there.
But he should have potentially. What was the promise? If Ten Hag was always on the way out, which he was, come on, you always knew that.
Well, that's not. You don't make the plan to keep the manager and go, he's still on his way out, isn't he? Yeah. Like, you try and do the best to make his job more comfortable. Steve McLaren left.
You're acting like Man United make logical decisions, and they just don't.
Right, thank you for watching that video. Make sure you check out the overlap for the full video. The link to that is in the description. And get your thoughts in the comments as well. Does Amorim have to stick to his guns and bring his style from Sporting Lisbon to Manchester United? We saw it with Ten Hag, where he said, I can't really play the football I played at Ajax at Manchester United. And in the end, we never really truly saw his vision on the pitch. And I think personally, that is one of the big things that cost him his job. He didn't quite get control of the tactical side of Manchester United. Like I said, get your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you very much for joining us. Make sure you hit subscribe on the channel. Thank you again to Adam and the Overlap. We'll see you in a bit.